Adding 6 to the right fielder, number 39, Ainsley Lindo. Adding 7 to the left fielder, number 7, Caitlin Wallace. Adding 8 to the designated player, number 12, September Fanning. Adding 4 to the
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another beautiful day in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Day 2 of the Big 12 softball tournament here at Devon Park. We've got 2 semifinal games ahead for you. Kansas taking on the top-seeded Texas Tech Red Raiders, and 2 very different games to get here today for Kansas and Texas Tech. First for Kansas, it was a little bit of a back-and-forth battle with UCF as they chipped away inning by inning. They started with some momentum offensively that translated to defense, and then back to a late innings rally with the 6-5 win over UCF to advance. And then Texas Tech putting on an offensive showcase, of course, with a couple of home runs, 2 from Mia Williams and then 1 from Jackie Leeson as well. And also, of course, anchored by Kennedy as well in the circle for the Red Raiders. So this will be a really interesting matchup, 2 different style of teams as we look forward to the second day here in Oklahoma City. And we'll have Texas Tech and Kansas up first, and then later this afternoon, it'll be Oklahoma State and Arizona State this evening as the nightcap before we have the championship tomorrow. We welcome you into the broadcast booth. I'm Emma Tiedemann alongside Kat Osterman, Nicole Mendez joining us today. And just an outstanding game yesterday, and now looking ahead to today with Texas Tech. Kat, we saw a lot of offense and, of course, great pitching in the circle as well.
Well, Texas Tech's roster is known for offense and run production, so we expected to see that yesterday. And they're also known for the 2-headed monster they have in the circle. Nyjah Kennedy gave Texas Tech 5 strong innings, giving up only 1 hit, a couple of walks. But Caitlin Terry got 1 inning of action yesterday. They're going to give her the nod today. She was brought in to fill this role. So Nyjah doesn't throw every day. She gets to throw big games. They've split games all season, but the lefty going to go ahead in the circle against Kansas today.
And with Kansas, I mean, they showed fight through every inning, came back, and they just put up numbers slowly but surely and came away with a win.
Yeah, Kansas is a team that likes to play scrappy. They do best from behind, and that's what they did all game long. And today, facing against, like you said, the 2-headed monster with Texas Tech, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to try and catch Tech unpredictable, off guard, and that is where they're hoping to get that win.
Absolutely. We have first pitch coming up next here from Devon Park. Texas Tech and Kansas after this. Welcome back into Devon Park here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. First of the semifinals today, Kansas and Texas Tech. We'll take you through the Kansas lineup, and leading off is the center fielder, Presley Limbaugh. Anna Souls, the first baseman, bats second. Haley Kripe, the shortstop, bats third. Batting cleanup is Ella Boyer, the catcher. Gamble Bagshaw, the second baseman, bats fifth. Batting sixth in right field is Ainsley Lindoff. Ava Wallace in left field bats seventh, batting eighth, and the designated player is September Flanagan. And then Caden Stafford bats ninth at third base. And they will be facing Caitlin Terry, who has just been phenomenal in the circle and at the plate for Texas Tech. And we saw her a little bit the other day. But, I mean, 134 strikeouts and 112 and 2/3 innings so far this season.
Well, Caitlin Terry, the lefty, going to come at these hitters with a screw curve rise combo, but she's a flamethrower. She comes out throwing hard. You'll watch it, you can tell that she's just in there to almost blow it by. She wants to move it, but she likes to blow it by people. The key for Caitlin Terry today is going to be efficiency, working on attacking the zone early, then stretching it. We saw her for an inning yesterday, probably a few too many balls for Jerry Glasgow's liking.
Obviously, Limbaugh fouls one back, and now you have Terry quickly ahead in the count, 0-2 right off the hop. But to put up numbers that she has in the circle and at the plate, I mean, she's batting over 450.
Well, the 450 batting average really is what Jerry Glasgow has been surprised about. He knew what he was getting in the circle from Terry. And she hit some at UCLA, but it wasn't every day. It wasn't at this clip. But talking to him earlier in the year, he said he wasn't aware of the worker he was getting and how much she really wanted to work on her offensive part of her game.
And that pitch missing a little bit upstairs for ball one.
Also, he wasn't aware of the power. What she's been able to do, power production, has been huge for Tech.
Swings and misses for strike three. She has her first strikeout of the day.
We saw a little bit of an off-speed pitch from Terry in that first at-bat. She doesn't usually use that off-speed, but she set up that curveball to Presley Limbaugh by changing speeds.
I think this tournament is a great time to experiment with that off-speed, especially against a team you haven't seen so far this season. Kansas and Tech, they didn't get to meet up in conference, so now you're in the tournament. You're getting the chance to show a pitch that isn't on the scouting report as you go into postseason. You really want to develop that two-headed monster.
And all the matchups yesterday, teams were familiar with each other, but now you have Kansas and Texas Tech who are kind of in new waters where they know of each other, obviously, but haven't had that head-to-head matchup.
Well, that's what we talked about so often yesterday was for hitters. It was 6th, 7th, 8th, sometimes probably 10th, 11th, 12th at bats against different pitchers. So for a pitcher, you're trying to get creative and figure out, how am I going to retire this hitter for the 10th time? And after a while, only so many sequences you can show a hitter that are successful.
So then as a pitcher in this situation, are you able to rely a little bit more on kind of your bread and butter and what's made you successful up to this point?
Yeah, 100%. Caitlin Terry, there's nothing to hide because Kansas hasn't seen her. There's nothing to avoid because they hit it well.
Now back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, Terry using the rise ball there, but to Nicole's point, you can also experiment with the changeup because they haven't seen your hard stuff. They don't know exactly how you're going to approach hitters.
And here's the defense playing behind Terry today with Lisa at first base, Williams at second, Nell at third, and Tony, the shortstop, in the outfield, Spearman in left, Davis in center, and Allred in right. And then you have Vic Valdez catching for Terry, and it seems like Valdez might be the favorite to catch for these high-power pitchers for Tech.
Jerry Glasgow talked to us about that. He said Nija's extremely comfortable with Valdez after pitching to her last year, all of last year. He said Terry actually settles in better with Valdez too, and she's just a veteran behind the plate. She caught for Jerry at Louisiana, transferred over with him, caught every game last year. So the experience behind the plate is high there with Vic Valdez.
Putting where you're at in the season in perspective, I think we're going to see her more and more as the game goes on, or as the series, as conference goes on, because you're going to have somebody behind the plate that's able to get those borderline strikes, especially in this day and age where it is tough to get those river calls, those pitches on the corner. If you have a catcher that's able to get those calls, your zone opens up.
Well, we even saw that last night with Utah. Proctor having been familiar with Mastretti, she knew exactly where Mastretti's throwing, the way the ball moves. So yeah, you have a catcher that's familiar and experienced. And don't get me wrong, Jazzy Burns caught at Ohio State, but it's being in this system with these pitchers. And at the end of the day, Jerry knows exactly what he's getting with Vic Valdez behind the plate.
Pitch just misses low, and now Haley Kripe works the count full after back-to-back strikeouts to begin the top of the first. This is low, and a huge walk after you see your teammates strike out 1 and 2. Haley Kripe able to reach after working the count full against Terry and wins this battle here. And this is kind of what Kansas did yesterday. They chipped away and slowly got that momentum building.
Having as a hitter that eye, that discipline, Kripe, she's one of the best hitters in this Kansas lineup. She's consistent, she's disciplined. The on-base percentage is almost sitting at 500. So you have that eye as a hitter. Your offense that's waiting in the wings for their chance to hit, that's what they're getting to see too.
Well, and interesting enough, her first 2 outs against left-handed hitters, lefty on lefty typically favors a pitcher, and Nicole can talk a little bit more about being a left-handed hitter against pitchers of that nature, but at the same time, the first righty that Terry sees, and she has struggled retiring her and even falling behind here to Boyer.
Pops it up first base side into foul territory. At least makes the catch, almost collides with Vic Valdez. That takes care of the 3rd out in the top of the 1st inning. We head to the bottom half, scoreless through 1 in Oklahoma City.
Being on a path trying to go to the Olympics, your life revolves around your training and making yourself better. The KRT Athletic Muscle Cream definitely makes me more confident and makes me want to go further. I started using their cream and my hamstring issues started going away. And so I use it before training, I use it after training. I am religious about this stuff. I want to be an Olympian, but I don't just want to go to the Olympics, I want to win a medal.
Old Trapper Beefs. Pack smash.
My peanut butter and jelly.
Ew.
Oh no. Yeah, I guess my ham and cheese didn't make it.
Old Trapper. What's your beef?
Now that's a great view.
Yep.
Bottom of the 1st inning back in Oklahoma City. Texas Tech Red Raiders lining up like this. Maya Davis, the center fielder, bats first. Batting second is Mia Williams. First baseman Jackie Lease bats third. And then it'll be Jasmine Burns, the designated player, batting fourth. Batting fifth is the pitcher, Caitlin Terry. Lauren Allred, the right fielder, bats sixth. Batting seventh at third base is Taylor Pinnell. Desiree Spearman, the left fielder, batting eighth. And Haley Toney, the shortstop, batting ninth.
One thing that we talked about, we're looking at that Texas Tech lineup, is with Terry and her power that she brings. That allows Valdez to be behind the plate. That allows Liz to be able to be in that role. And so you're able to play a little bit of switching around whenever you have a pitcher who is that true utility.
And now we take a look at Samantha Clare in the circle for the Jayhawks. The freshman hasn't pitched a lot this season.
Now you see just 4 1/3 innings on the year. Did not give up a run in those 4 innings, but I have to imagine part of it is for Kansas. They assumed that Tech probably didn't scout her and didn't have a lot of video on her, but gonna go ahead and throw 60 to 64 miles an hour, curve rise change. To be successful here against Tech, she has to work the strike zone, then expand, or work the strike zone and then use that off-speed pitch. And if you get behind these Texas Tech Red Raiders, as soon as you make a mistake, they're ready for it.
And the inning starts with a leadoff walk issued to Davis. And here you have now Mia Williams. Williams had quite the game with 5 RBI combined with Jackie Lease. They went 5 for 6. Rest of the team went 5 for 18. Puts it on the ground, third base side, throws to second, on to first, and it's not in time, so they can't turn the double play, but they do get the lead runner of Davis. And maybe if you're a Sam Clair, maybe a little bit of a exhale after you get a hitter like Williams out and a ground out.
Well, a little bit of an exhale, yes, because Mia Williams, the first pitch she saw yesterday, went ahead and took that out of the park. But interesting enough, she was swinging at the first pitch. When you have someone like Maya Davis, she's first in the country in active players in stolen bases and has won the Golden Spike Award a few times. Not even giving Jerry Glasgow the chance to possibly put the steal on with how aggressive she was in that at bat.
Also with Davis seeing 5 pitches and 4 of them being balls.
Yeah.
So
And I think that's probably more of the exhale, is struggling to have control that first hitter. And then the second hitter goes ahead and gets themselves out for you, or at this point hits in the fielder's choice to get you an out. But now you're not thinking so much about losing control like that first at bat.
especially in a game like this, sometimes you just need that first out, and then you go, okay, I'm good. I'm settled in.
Well, and as we said, only 4 innings on the year, so for Claire, this is a big moment. I don't know about Unico. I mean, I know playing in the Big 12, we obviously play in this stadium for conference, but the first time even you get to the World Series or that championship game in conference, all of a sudden the nerves come.
Yeah, first game I threw in the championship series, I threw it almost over the backstop, so. Know all about the nerves.
I just remember being like shaking up until I gave up a 2-run home run, and then it was like, okay, now we got to figure this out. But like everything was shaking of nerves up until that point.
Especially on this field.
Three-two now misses high. Second walk of the inning. Williams moves to scoring position. And here comes Jazzy Burns.
Liz with another disciplined at bat, and just going back to Williams, she's a hitter that likes to swing early in the count. Burns also the same way, but watching the 3 hitters ahead of you, have to think Jazzy Burns, 16 home runs on the year, 51 RBIs, that's not by accident. She is a smart hitter. She likes to swing for power, but if there's nothing there to hit, you have to be patient. You want to take as much as you can, because up and down this lineup, Texas Tech, they have the power to swing it.
First pitch strike from Sam Clair. Count evens 1-1, and you know, sometimes it seems like taking a walk in this situation to load the bases for the potent lineup that you kind of mentioned, even coming after Burns, would be more important. He drives it down the right field line into the corner. Back on it is Lindoff, and this ball is gone. 3-run blast for Jasmine Burns, and the Red Raiders are on the board in the bottom of the first.
I love that reaction there from Burns. The stomp onto home plate, just fired up. That's the way, if you're Texas Tech, you want to start this game. In the past, it has been the first inning where they are able to take control, take command. And Jazzy Burns, she spares no moments at all. Right here, a hard hit. Oppo, you're talking about that power. That's as far Oppo as you can go as a hitter. So being able to stay on that pitch all the way through and really drive it deep.
Well, and having the view from up here, Jerry Glasgow, before Burns got in there, was kind of demonstrating like the opposite way swing, saying, hey, she's going to try to go here. So you know Jazzy Burns already focusing on the outside. And when you watch the replay, that ball wasn't necessarily over the plate. It was a little elevated, split the corner, not a terrible pitch, but she's expecting it. At the same time, when you are struggling to have command, hitters see a pitch up that they can drive, they're going to be aggressive, and good hitters like Tech are going to capitalize.
Terry swings and misses for strike 2. And like you mentioned too, Nicole, scoring in the first inning, that's what they did. Back yesterday, and now continue it here.
Kat, to your point, why Glasgow, imagining, is telling his hitters, hey, we're feeling the oppo, we're feeling the ball, or the bat through the ball all the way through, is Claire, her spin, her pitch is very, very spinny, almost feels hovery from what it looks like here.
Terry sends it the other way into left field. Wallace is there, makes the catch.
As a hitter, whenever you have that kind of pitcher, it's so easy to get out in front. Your brain can trick you with that high spin rate to go, oh, that ball's coming in a little bit faster than it actually is. You can end up pulling off. So by telling yourself as a hitter, stay through that ball, look to go oppo, it just ensures that your barrel stays on it just a little bit longer.
First pitch swinging for Lauren Allred, sends it to the second baseman. Bag shot, throws to first. Inning comes to an end, but not before the 3-run homer by Jasmine Burns. And the Texas Tech Red Raiders take us to the top of the second, out in front 3-0 over Kansas. Top of the second, back in Oklahoma City, and Texas Tech already with the 3-0 lead after the 3-run homer by Jazzy Burns. Caitlin Terry back in the circle. Terry with a couple of strikeouts to start the top of the first, issued a walk, but did not give up a run. Here's Campbell Bagshot to lead things off.
Well, if Tech has been patient, Kansas has been extremely aggressive. They're swinging early on accounts. They do not want to get to the point where Terry is expanding her zone or starting to throw the off speed more. They want to get the best pitch early on. They are very, very aggressive here.
It goes back, makes me wonder if they scouted the same thing. We talked to Coach Glenn Moore in the game yesterday, and they were being relatively aggressive, especially against Nyjah. And he said, well, in her 12 home runs have been in the first 2 or 3 pitches. He's like, so we're attacking the best pitch. And he said that common sense, as a pitcher, you're trying to work ahead. Looks like Kansas doing the same thing here against Terry.
Kansas getting a little bit of scouting report from the game yesterday. All right.
Looks like it. Well, You know, it is common sense, but I think too, and sometimes it's hard to get hitters to say, yes, they're going to be aggressive on the first pitch, but it kind of puts a pitcher on their heels.
Shaw sends this one down the right field line, caught by Allred for the first out.
I mean, Nicole, you've obviously been both in the circle and the batter's box, but I know if I'm in a groove and then all of a sudden someone comes and takes a massive hack because they're expecting a pitch, it's a little bit of a shock, like, oh, okay, we're going to play this game now. And so for a pitcher, especially elite level of Caitlin Terry and even Nyjah Kennedy, if we see her today, for hitters to confidently come out aggressive sometimes can change your mentality.
Well, as a pitcher, would you adjust by maybe taking and saving those first two pitches, maybe not being so aggressive first two and shifting the at-bat?
A lot of it will depend on the outcome. So just because you're swinging aggressively doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to change throwing strikes. Now, if you start hitting or are barely just missing, like fouling straight back a pitch, then maybe I'm going to go off speed, or I might, instead of a horizontal pitch, I may go a drop ball in the same location. So it can change, but now if they're just taking hacks and just fouling things back, your spin's still working. So not necessarily something to be alarmed at yet.
Especially this early in the game where a team hasn't seen you before, you can still go, like we talked about last inning, with your best stuff because they're still trying to figure that out.
Swings and misses for strike three, and Caitlin Terry seems to be bringing her best stuff. 3 strikeouts already.
I'll point it out again, all 3 strikeouts are to left-handed hitters, so she's using that curve. She'll try to elevate the rise, but she gets Linduff here right with a curveball that actually is well off the plate. But you can tell Linduff not used to that sharp break of a curve away from her the way Terry's able to throw that.
And another lefty in the lineup with Ava Wallace.
Pretty steep swings here from Kansas as well. Knowing what Terry throws and how she's been attacking them, I would maybe want to get a little bit more underneath those balls instead of as on top. They're missing over the top time and time again, and Caitlin Terry has been using that fully to her advantage.
There you go. Over the top swing and a miss.
There, that's the off-speed pitch. She doesn't throw a whole lot, but trying to work it in here. She tried to actually throw it the pitch before. That's what rolled to the plate. Going back to back. Good pitch calling there by Tara Archibald.
I also love that too as a hitter. Whenever I see a pitcher who will go back-to-back changeups, even if it wasn't a strike, it's in the back of my mind, maybe not that at bat, but the next one is they're not afraid to do that twice. Just because they show changeup once doesn't mean I can dismiss it from my game plan, right? It's always still kind of haunting me in the back of my mind, especially if it's as nasty as that swing and miss.
Well, I think so many people assume because something doesn't work, you're not going to go to it again. And so the changeup specifically, when you throw a bad one, but then still go back to back with it, as you said, it messes with a lot of people because they just assume, oh, you missed that soft, you're gonna go hard now. And when you have a pitcher who, even though they miss one, they can come right back with something that is in the zone or relatively close. As Nicole pointed out, it will mess with the mentality of your hitters.
Just misses inside. And does that talk to maybe the eliteness of Terry, that she can go back to back? She might mess with one changeup in the dirt, but she's able to adjust literally the next pitch.
It's elite execution, but it's also elite mindset. It's not getting put off or frustrated with something because it didn't work one time.
That's a nice catch.
Got a one-handed catch there in the stands.
Always so impressed by the fans that are able to snag it out of midair. If anything ever came towards me and I didn't have a glove on, I don't know what to do.
Oh, so you're saying I have to protect her and you.
Yeah.
You also played outfield. You should be protecting all of us.
Swing and a miss, strike three. And Caitlin Terry retires the side in order. How about 4 strikeouts through 2 innings of work so far? We head to the bottom of the second. Texas Tech still leading 3-0.
The main obstacle has been the same throughout my life, is you're not big enough, you're not fast enough, you're not strong enough. And so just kind of having that chip on my shoulder of like, all right, head first down some ice, that's the way we're gonna go. Working with KRT Athletic Muscle Cream has helped me improve every aspect of my physicality. So being able to have my muscle, my joints, and my tendons healthy, not cramp up, and be ready to achieve the extra reps, because those extra reps are what's gonna make the difference between a medal and a non-medal.
Hell of a good.
Seriously? No hell of a good dip?
Whoa, creamy. A double dip. Where's Jill?
Hell of a good.
It's not a party without hell of a good.
Hell of a good.
Hello?
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Beautiful weather again here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Day 2 of the Big 12 softball tournament. And Texas Tech already off to the races, leading 3-0 over the Kansas Jayhawks. And it's a 3-run homer by Jazzy Burns in the first. Taylor Pennell in on the right side. First pitch strike from Sam Clare, and Sam Clare still in the circle for the first inning after giving up that home run. And they talked about the fact that might not have as much experience as somebody else in that circle, but first pitch strike, you have to at least like that.
Kansas continuing to go with her, and she didn't really pitch poorly. She's working around the zone, has an off-speed pitch that she's worked a couple times. She really does have to try to limit the free passes, though. We mentioned that in the first walk of the game to Maya Davis. If you give Texas Tech too many base runners, they're going to cash in. The way they can swing the bats, freebies are going to end up coming back to hurt you.
So lofted deep to center field, and making the catch is Limbaugh. She crashes into the wall. Able to run it down, hold on to it, and record a big first down the bottom of the second.
Limbaugh looked like she didn't even know if she had the ball in her glove after she crashed out. She was looking for where it went, right in her glove. That was a really good job just tracking that down. Sometimes as an outfielder, you know once you hit that warning track, that fence is quickly approaching. You see outfielders sometimes shy away. Not her, she went full speed, and that is a huge first out for Kansas.
The first inning, Claire allowed a leadoff base runner with a walk, and so now a little bit of a different shift. Retires the first batter she faces.
Coach Jen McFalls talks about Presley Limbaugh and talks about how she sets the tone for the team, and that doesn't just mean offensively. Leadoff hitter does do that quite often, but able to make plays like that in the outfield. And as a pitcher now for Claire, it's like, oh, anything hit the outfield, they're running it down and really literally running through or into a wall for you. But Presley Limbaugh, both sides of the ball, has been so impactful for the Jayhawks.
Called strike. Spearman might have thought that was ball 4. She was ready to toss her bat. Fouls it right side, and so Sam Clare works her way back into the at-bat. Full count now with 1 out. Bottom of the second. This is outside, ball 4. That's the third walk of the day issued by Clare.
We're starting to see these hitters for Texas Tech. They are utilizing kind of that no, 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 then yes. Most of the time as hitters, you're always told think yes, 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 then no. But whenever you have a pitcher that's struggling to consistently find the zone, not just for the first strike, but throughout an at-bat, you are going to be more patient. You're going to make her come to you. And like we pointed out, you flip over that lineup, you get those walks across the board, and it's dangerous, that top half.
And Texas Tech is going to go with a pinch runner. That is Logan Halliman. The junior will take over.
You can tell Jerry Glasgow going to go in early, going ahead and pinch running here just in the second. Expecting this lineup to turn over and continue to pass the bat.
Here you have the top of the lineup coming up that's already had success against Claire. That time Halliman was off with the pitch, but Tony fouls it straight back.
Well, Jerry Glasgow's not shy about pushing the envelope. He will continue to send runners. He'll send them in situations that even you think maybe a relay is going to cut him down. He's not scared to force everybody to have to play catch and have to make great plays and great throws.
And a good attempt at a catch for Wallace in left field. Trying to make the diving grab in foul territory.
Yeah, I think that's probably the last way that I would use to describe him. I think he lives for the unexpected. I think Kansas also trying to make Tech feel a little unprepared, unexpected here.
Tony lines it to left field. This time Wallace tracks it down for the second out.
Yeah, I think Kansas using a little of that unexpectedness themselves with, as we mentioned, Sam Clare starting. She had pitched recently in their series against Oklahoma State. And as we said, just 4 innings coming into today.
First pitch hit back up the middle by Maya Davis. Rounding second, heading to third is Halliman. Very productive at-bat off the first pitch of the at-bat. Single for Davis, and now Texas Tech has runners on the corners for Mia Williams.
Great awareness there by Halliman. She sees how deep the Kansas outfield is playing, and she sees whenever that ball bounces before second base as a runner, you're automatically looking for that extra bag. Tie in the fact that those outfielders are so deep, you're automatically thinking third all the way.
Well, I think right now Jerry Glasgow probably told Mia Williams, don't swing at the first pitch. He has speed on first, speed on third. Be interested to see what Kansas does.
Swings at the first pitch, pops it up, shallow left field. Drifting back is the shortstop, Kripe. She makes the catch just in front of the left fielder, Wallace, for the final out. Red Raiders strand 2 as we head to the top of the third. They're still leading 3-0 over Kansas in Oklahoma City.
fun back here in Oklahoma City. And Texas Tech lefty Caitlin Terry getting the start today, and so far just throwing absolutely masterful, being able to keep Kansas off balance. 4 strikeouts on the day. Using that changeup, she only throws that pitch about 6% of the time, but we've seen it probably at least 15–20% of the time so far today. She's thrown quite a few here against Kansas, trying to get that change of speeds working headed into the postseason.
We saw it in that last pitch there, that swing through. That was a 4th changeup of that at bat. So as a hitter, I'm not expecting her to go there, not just back to back, but 4 times in 1 at bat.
And I think the fun part of watching that is the 2 changeups she's gotten a swing and miss on. Neither one has really been in the zone. And so that's just proving the point. If you attack in the zone with other pitches.
Tony goes back on it, can't make the catch, and Flanagan reaches.
If you attack the zone with other pitches, then people will start to chase, thinking your changeup is tunneling with that hard pitch.
This one right here, defensively, you're doing everything right. This is a great read, first step, but just last minute, the eyes tend to wander, and Tony just takes her eye off the ball, gets in and out of the glove.
So now Kansas has their first base runner since the 1st inning.
Well, as you said, Tony drop stepped really well on that. And honestly, I thought that was falling in, and then it looked like she had the chance. Spin on that too, though, is what hits the palm of her glove and just spins out.
Popped up behind the plate, and there is Valdez to make the catch.
Valdez came out of that squat in a hurry. That's a far run to make as a catcher, almost all the way to the entrance of the dugout. Big smile from her. How about that? Just, hey, don't worry, I got your back. Ball in the air, all the way. She made it look easy. That is not an easy play for a catcher to make.
No, and Vic Valdez takes so much pride in her ability to play defense behind the plate. We saw end of the 1st inning as she ran down, and her and Lise had to communicate on a fly ball, but she got down the line there in foul territory as well too. I've asked Jerry Glasgow about how her role changed from last year to this year, and he said she's just the ultimate team player. She is the best teammate. She understands, says, yes, I'll do what you need me to do. As we mentioned, getting more playing time here down the stretch as they go into postseason, as she is the catcher that the 2 pitchers are most comfortable with. But at the same time, not sulking that she's not hitting or getting as many at-bats as she has the last 3 years. Just being able to impact the game wherever she is. Probably living the quote, be where your feet are. She's behind home plate. She's being the best catcher she knows how to be right now.
5th strikeout of the day for Caitlin Terry, excuse me, and Limbaugh goes down and strikes for the 2nd time today.
We could talk about that for hours. Just the fact that she is coming in, not having that starting role almost all year long, and she hasn't missed a beat. That tells you it doesn't matter if you are a veteran, if you're a freshman, how important it is to be locked in, to be prepared in whatever role that you may be called upon. But whenever you're called upon, it's important that you're ready, because if you haven't been training just as hard all year, you're not going to get that chance. You're not going to produce.
Big swing and a miss by Anna Souls.
Even on that flip side with Claire, just 4 innings. Coach comes to you and she says, for Kansas, she says, hey, you're going to get the start today against Texas Tech in the Hall of Fame Stadium. If you don't prepare, you're going to be shaking in your boots. So it's so important as an athlete, if you're not necessarily getting the end result of what you're wanting, how do you stay in, how do you prepare? It's day in and day out. It's finding those players that are a little bit better and going, hey, like, how do I stay locked in? How can you help me get better?
Terry using a little bit of a backdoor curve, but with some rise action on that pitch.
Especially on that lefty on lefty. That is such a hard ball for my barrel if I'm a left-handed hitter to get to.
Well, I think this pitch too, that curveball away is tailing up as well. And so for left-handed hitters, they're having to look 2 planes as Caitlin Terry continues to dominate in the circle. Kansas still looking for answers offensively.
third in Oklahoma City. A little neck fan action. It's a little bit humid today compared to yesterday. We do have some clouds in the sky. Still, though, plenty of blue skies here in Oklahoma as Jackie Lee leads things off against Sam Claire, still in the circle, third inning of work. First pitch strike, back-to-back innings now where she's been able to throw that first pitch strike to the first batter she faces.
I really think that first inning was some nerves. As we mentioned, the 4 innings, you're in the Hall of Fame Stadium, which nowadays with how much softball is on TV, you know, when I remember the year before I graduated high school, only the championship series was on TV, or not even the championship series. At the time, it was 1 game. So you got to see 1 game occasionally, maybe a handful, but not the whole World Series. And so now with everything, so many girls dream of being in this atmosphere, and part of the Big 12 is that you get to play the championship here, and we've gotten to play it here for years on end. So you get to be in this place that you dream of being without having to make the World Series. But still, it's that stage that sometimes can be nerve-wracking. And then you talk about going up against Texas Tech, who everyone has been talking about in the offseason. I think Claire just settling in now with the nerves and emotions of this game.
Seems like everything's just magnified now, and outside of the regular season of, like you said, more games on TV and such, but now you have more eyeballs now looking at you in this much larger stadium than you're probably used to. This is outside, and Lise was patient in her first at bat, drew the walk, and then scored on the 3-run homer by Burns, who's on deck. You try and take that same approach second time through the order if you're Lise right now?
Absolutely.
He drives it down the left field line. Wallace at the wall. It's out of her reach and gone. Jackie Liss gives it a ride, and Texas Tech has their second homer of the day.
She's in that 3 spot for a reason. Texas Tech last inning, they squared up several balls hard. Some really good defensive plays by Kansas, but can't get a glove on that one. That one got out over the wall. It was a line drive that ended up being a home run. This is just a great job swinging. This is a ball that's right underneath the hands as a hitter. You have to be quick. And the most important piece, whenever she's swinging, her body is so still. There's no extra movement that allows that barrel to get out in front.
I would think that would be key, because it looked like it almost could jam some hitters, but she was able to really hit it well.
I think.
And it looks like we will have a new pitcher in the circle for the Jayhawks. We will step aside as Texas Tech leads 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Back in Oklahoma City, and the Red Raiders will face a new arm in the circle. Chloe Barber, the junior, will take over for Samantha Claire, who, I mean, didn't have a lot of innings coming in and did pretty well considering.
Yeah, Samantha Claire going ahead and got a little over 1 time through the lineup, but Chloe Barber going to come in mid to upper 60s, screw curve rise. She has an off speed. She's going to need that against the Red Raiders. We saw her come in and close out the game yesterday against UCF. Really, it's the contrasting of speed with Chloe Barber. She comes in, and especially yesterday against UCF, looked like she was throwing tremendously harder than their starter. It's just part of her windup, but as well as just the way they've been able to develop her pitches. Not a ton of break, but breaks enough to go with her speed.
Burns fouls it out of play down the right field line. An almost catch.
Soft hands every time. Ball's always coming down. That's what coach would yell at me, but hey, what do I know?
Burns takes a strike, and now down in the count 1-2, and she had the big 3-run homer in the bottom of the first inning.
Oh, there was the off speed that Chloe Barber didn't show a lot yesterday in UCF, but also didn't need to. But establishing it early here against Texas Tech.
Burns pops it up, shallow right field. Bagshot back on it, makes the catch, one away.
Especially this time of day, around 4 o'clock, that sun is still overhead. You can see the sunglasses on Bagshaw, being able to track it all the way down. And as I say that, there is a cloud of shade that is coming over the field. I'm sure Kansas is going, thank you, thank you, thank you. That sun is brutal.
We talked about it yesterday. Amber Tobin for Baylor out there and had a couple fly balls that using the glove and the bare hand because she didn't have glasses or a visor on. And it was about the same time yesterday.
Yeah, and 0 clouds all day.
Yeah, we had no clouds in the sky. The only thing we saw was a plane and a helicopter.
Even 1-1 count for Caitlin Terry. It's it right back up the middle. Barber tried to put a glove on it, but rolls into center field, and Caitlin Terry reaches with the 1-out single.
If I'm Texas Tech, this is the pitcher that I was probably prepping and getting ready for. Claire, like you said, did a nice job getting through two innings, going through the lineup at least once. So there is going to be that little bit of an adjustment period. But Tech, if you're that elite, high-performing team, you have a game plan and you're ready to execute it. As soon as you see Barber come out, you know exactly what you're hunting and going after.
Lauren Allred takes the first pitch for a called strike. Grounded out, first inning.
Well, and talking about Barber's scouting report, that's why the changeup, if she can get it going, is so effective, because you scout her and you see the hard stuff, and the changeup is the question mark. Her elite outings are when that's on, but how often is that on that you as a hitter and as a coach, when you're game planning, is saying, okay, we have to respect this, versus, hey, most of the time it's not in the zone, so just spit on it and don't worry.
Now Barber ahead in the count, 1-2. So Caitlin Terry over at first base.
Glasgow was saying she's one of the base runners where he gives her full reign. Maybe sometimes he'll give her steal, but if she sees something, if she wants to go, she's free to go on her own. And I think that communicates a lot of trust in her speed, but also the running IQ, knowing the situation.
Pitch misses high, and Boyer coming out of the stance a little bit. I think now just keeping a closer eye on Terry.
Well, as we mentioned, Jerry Glasgow likes to take the risk, high reward in his world. And so if you're a catcher playing against Texas Tech, you have to be ready at all times that majority of their base runners might take off for a second.
And Terry with 11 steals.
I mean, they have 5 of 9 that have double-digit steals in this starting lineup.
Leads the Big 12 with 120 stolen bases as Terry is off, but that's ball 4. Texas Tech now with 2 on and 1 out.
A dangerous hitter up panel. Last time she came up to bat, it was a great catch out there in center field, but at the same time, it was an absolute rocket. And ball, she's taken a step or two back as well.
Swings at the first pitch, goes high and inside.
Nicole, you can talk to this, having played some outfield in a situation like this, you have Panel who has power, but you have a runner on second. Which aspect of this situation do you take into account? The deepness of protecting power, or being shallow enough to throw Caitlin Terry out possibly?
Yeah, I think that goes just knowing tendencies, knowing what hitters do. And Panel, she has a lot of hard hit line drives. She has a lot of fly balls as well. So I'm giving up that risk of maybe there's a ground ball through the infield, also knowing the speed that's on second. I would hate to have the speed that's on first come around and score as well. So I'm giving that up, that ground ball in front of me, and I'm playing for the line drive and no doubles.
0-2 is driven deep left field. Wallace at the wall. And it's another 3-run blast for Texas Tech. Taylor Panel leaves the yard, and it's 7-0 Red Raiders. That is already the 6th home run of the series for Texas Tech.
Well, we were just talking about how dangerous she is, but whenever you have a hitter like that, that has a ball that is over the middle of the plate and right at the letters, there's nowhere else that she's going to go except over the fence. Absolutely crushed that one, but again, hitting on the corners. Kat, I think you hit on it earlier in the game with Kansas and their pitching staff, establishing the zone, but on the corners, not letting the ball deliver over the middle of the plate without any movement. That is dangerous with a team like Texas Tech. I mean, Panel's hitting in the 7-hole. That tells you the power up and down.
That's the power. And while Panel, average-wise, keeping pace to what she did in her All-American season at Tennessee a year ago, power-wise, a little bit behind in numbers. And Jerry Glasgow has talked about that a little bit, and just the pressure that came with the transfer as well as other things. But he said she is hitting stride, and she has started to display that power on a more consistent basis the last handful of weeks. But back to the location of that pitch, Nicole, and I talk about it a lot. The rise ball, anytime it is somewhere between the crease of your hips and maybe a ball or two above the belt, that is such the hitter's power alley unless you have elite spin. So many hitters can crush that mid-height rise ball if you're not stretching the zone.
This is one of my favorite traditions that you see here in this stadium. Anytime you hit a home run, the staff in the park, they'll go, they'll run out, they'll grab it, and they'll give it back to a family member, somebody important to the player. That one delivered to her family. I love that because there's so much that goes into being a parent of these athletes. And as much as an athlete, you're out there day in and day out at the ballpark, you have a parent that's driving you to practice, driving you to lessons, taking you to tournaments, all for the hope of getting to play here and play at the biggest level. I just think it's so special, and it's a great way to include them. I know my own mom, she used to love that, just talking about it. She would light up, and talking to other parents here at the stadium at Devon Park, they just love it, and I think it's so special.
It's really cool. I was here with Texas one time for the World Series, and J.J. Smith hit a home run against Arizona, and her parents weren't here. They had just left to go back home, and so I got to receive that ball for J.J. and then present it to her later, and it's so cool.
Well, somebody else is going to be getting delivered a home run ball, but it may be a while because that one hit the back fence. An absolute monster of a home run there from Spearman. She actually came back into this game. And I just think about Tech and how rapidly they're able to score, and it's infectious. And it's the exact same pitch that we saw literally one pitch ago to Panel. A pitch, a rise ball over the middle of the plate, right underneath those letters. That is the perfect place for these hitters, the way that they're setting up. They're absolutely crushing it.
All 3 home runs this inning have been that mid-height inside pitch. I'm going to one up there, but Spearman not only coming back in the game, the first pitch she saw from Chloe Barber went ahead and deposited it into left field, not even taking a pitch to get timing. And that's to your point, Nicole. You talked about that was probably who they were scouting and getting ready for. And so they are on time with Chloe Barber here in this inning.
That forces the Jayhawks to go back to the bullpen, and Kennedy Diggs now warming up in the circle. 3 home runs hit in this inning alone by Texas Tech.
You have to think it's very much a pitch by committee for Kansas. They know the offense that Texas Tech has. They know as soon as a team gets comfortable, they score quickly. We just saw that against the ace of this pitching staff for Kansas. So recognizing that and knowing that we have to have arms hot to go. Right now in the bullpen for Kansas, there's another arm getting ready just in case just as well.
Looks like Spearman's ball has now been delivered.
There's a lady custom decorating balls in the concourse. Take the home run over there and see if she can dazzle it up a little bit.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna have to talk to her after this game and be like, hey.
Nicole's gonna be like, I have a couple home run balls. You wanna decorate them for me?
Mother's Day is coming up.
Here's Haley Toney batting 9th in the lineup. Now seeing the new arm of Kennedy Diggs. This is inside. Ball 2. And you pointed out how Spearman attacked Barber the first pitch with the home run, but now Toney, she seems to be waiting a few pitches, being a little bit more patient. Of course, he sends this to the shortstop. Kripe throws to first, and it's in time. Second out of the inning.
Right there. That is why Haley Kripe is on the all-defensive team, one of the co-defensive players of the year. I thought that ball was a base hit up the middle, and then Kripe with her range able to get around that and make the nice throw.
First pitch swinging for Davis, and it's just out of the reach of Bagshaw. And she is aboard for the 3rd time today. A walk in the first and now a pair of singles.
And as a defender, we were just talking about Kripe and just that extra reach, that extra layer. As a defender against a team like Texas Tech, their exit velo as a hitting team, it is hard, it is quick, so you have to be ready for anything that's coming your way, but also you have to give that extra effort.
Here's Mia Williams, the 9th batter of this inning. Davis at first, still 2 outs. Williams scored one of the runs in the first inning as the Red Raiders scored 3 in the first, and then 5 here in the 3rd. Finds the zone, and now Diggs is ahead, 1-2.
That's a nice little changeup from Diggs, and Diggs throws 2 different off speeds, a changeup and then an off speed, and then tries to work a little bit of a rise and a curve in there.
This is high, count goes full.
Also with that changeup and off speed, they're at 2 different planes as well, so it makes it feel even more spread out, even more of a difference speed-wise.
Pitch misses inside, that's ball 4, and now the Red Raiders have batted around. Jackie Lease comes back to the plate.
Every single one of these pitchers that we've seen today for Kansas, they've had a free pass given up. So finding that zone and going at them has been important.
Called strike. Liss, who had the leadoff homer to start this inning back in the 3rd.
Liss's home run actually chased Samantha Claire out of the game.
I mean, that's that swing there. It was just so smooth and clean to the ball. Not a lot of extra or wasted movement. It's what you call an efficient swing. And then Grandma getting the home run ball afterwards.
I think sometimes we talk about parents getting the home run ball and as emotional as that is, but when you have a grandparent that can travel and then comes and watches you, and her being able to receive that, it's all the more special.
Hit on the ground to Kripe again, throws to first, inning comes to an end. But it's a 5-run inning, highlighted by a couple of home runs at the top of the 5th in Oklahoma City.
Being on a path trying to go to the Olympics, your life revolves around your training and making yourself better. The KRT Athletic Muscle Cream definitely makes me more confident and makes me want to go further. I started using their cream and my hamstring issues started going away. And so I use it before training, I use it after training. I am religious about this stuff. I want to be an Olympian, but I don't just want to go to the Olympics, I want to win a medal.
Old Trapper Beefs. Pack smash.
My peanut butter and jelly.
Ew.
Oh no. Yeah, I guess my ham and cheese didn't make it.
Old Trapper. What's your beef?
Now that's a great view.
Yep.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City for the first semifinal game of the Big 12 tournament. Kansas and Texas Tech here in the 4th, and we are joined by head coach Jennifer McFalls. Coach McFalls, obviously big win yesterday against UCF, and that helps y'all's resume. You were already in the talk, but almost solidifies you for the NCAA regionals. Talk to us about that and the message with your team going forward, knowing a regional berth is within reach.
I mean, definitely. We walked away yesterday just knowing, you know, we were down by 4 in that game, and I love our fight, and that's what it's going to take in postseason. I think we put ourselves in a really good position. UCF's a great program. You know, it was a great matchup for us, but I loved our fight yesterday and our grittiness, and, you know, a tough matchup today coming back. We haven't faced Texas Tech all year, so first time to see them this year.
Yeah, and talking about facing them for the first time, this is going to be second time through the lineup. Kripe getting the lead off. What's the adjustment that she's talked about that your offense has?
I mean, I think we've actually put some good swings on some pitches. You know, she's gotten us to chase a little bit out of the zone, and she's been really effective with her changeup at times. But, you know, we just got to keep taking it one at bat at a time. I mean, you know, you face this kind of pitching that's only going to make you better if you make those quick in-game adjustments.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, but good luck the rest of the way. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Haley Kripe will lead off against Caitlin Terry, as Coach had another audience of her team and saw that yesterday too. Keeping her team nice and loose, and it seems like it's kind of continued on to today. A little bit of a tougher matchup, but it seems like they're still having fun.
I think she hit it on the head. They knew it was going to be a tough matchup today. It's not a secret what Texas Tech possesses, and they have a game plan. And again, it goes back to, in this environment, this is not a must-win for Kansas. They're not trying to fight to stay above 500, so need to figure out how to beat Texas Tech today. But this is about, what do you learn from facing Texas Tech today that you could take into a regional? They're not going to host. They're not going to be a 1 seed. But Kansas is going to go face somebody that's going to have elite arms. So how quickly can we make the adjustments? Or are we swinging at pitches that are in our plan? Maybe not getting the base hits on them, but are we swinging at them and trying to make contact?
And Valdez continues to just be fantastic behind the plate, makes another out.
You look there, there's Kansas, their resume, that record, one of the best, but also the RPI 5 and 7, better than it has been in years past. RPI in top 40, strength of schedule at 61. So they've put themselves in the best position. And that win yesterday really, really gave a strong case for the committee, which will be looking after the games complete with the conference tournaments on Saturday. They're watching what's going on this week. There have been so many upsets across the country, Kansas being one of them, upsetting UCF.
Well, and just playing Texas Tech helps their RPI, with how high Texas Tech's RPI is. And so for Kansas, again, not a must-win situation. Not that you're going into it not trying to win, but there's so much learning that they can take from this into what is going to be their first postseason run in a while.
They now have 35 wins on the year, which is the most in a season under Coach McFall. So it seems like they just keep building and building, not just this season, but the last couple of years now are really coming together for this season as, well, Valdez doesn't have a chance on that one this time.
Well, as she said, they've taken a lot of swings on pitches that are in their plan, executing their plan. I think the biggest thing, and Nicole, you pointed out their swings earlier, is Caitlin Terry has upspin, and we see a lot of the pop-ups foul, not straight back foul, but pop-ups foul, and they're not getting to the right part of the ball with the spin that Caitlin Terry is attacking them.
Caitlin Terry gets strikeout number 7, 2 outs in the top of the 4th.
Caitlin Terry, that looked like it might have been supposed to be a screwball the way she finished, but that stays low at the knees, and Boyer with the check swing.
There's Bagshaw, who drove in the game-winning run yesterday in the 7th with a single against UCF.
And to your point, Kat, of having the right barrel angle, whenever you have a pitcher that can go up in the zone and then work down in the zone, you have to first pick one. As a hitter, you are guessing if you're trying to hit the rise ball and the screwball and the curveball and everything is up and down and all over the zone. Pick one, pick your barrel angle for that one as well, and make that adjustment.
Bagshaw pops it up left side of the infield, and Tony makes the catch. Terry retires the side in order, now has 7 strikeouts as we head to the bottom of the 4th at Devon Park.
Well, we are back here for the first semifinal of the Big 12 tournament. Again, Texas Tech with an 8-0 lead, and we are joined by Red Raider head coach Jerry Glasgow. Coach Glasgow, obviously the offensive output has been aplenty today. What coming into this was your philosophy to build on after yesterday?
Just, come out and get good pitches. If you get good pitches, you'll get good hits. And, we've worked hard. We've worked hard since the fall. We know we want to peak in the postseason. So everything's about peaking right now, and so they should be full of confidence. And, we get out here, we take more batting practice than anybody else. We hit longer than anybody else in pregame. We do it every day. So we deserve to be successful because we worked really hard.
I love it. And on the flip side, Caitlin Terry, she has been just dealing so far today, but also a lot more off speed. Was that a choice because of all the lefties in the lineup? What made you guys decide to mix up those speeds a little bit more?
No, she's worked really hard on that pitch, and she's a power pitcher. Like, she wants to attack. Like, her natural inclination is to attack. But it's working good today, and while it's working good, let's build on that and let's use it and let her feel what it feels like to go that way.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Jerry Glasgow, I love talking about the hitting more than anyone, longer than anyone. I wanted to ask him if he drove from Lubbock, because if you've followed at all, I think Holly Rowe last year tweeted out a picture. Jerry Glasgow packs specific pitching machines in the back of his truck, and he will drive. Even if the team is playing in Florida, he will leave a day earlier or the night before and drive the machine so they have exactly what they use at home on the road for them to prepare offensively. And he has done that forever.
It's one of those, if you know, you know.
Yeah. You say Jerry Glasgow and pitching machines, and everyone in the game will understand what you're talking about.
Ground ball off the bat of Burns. Looks like it might have hit Diggs in the shin. It ricochets and allows Burns to reach.
It's an absolute shot off the barrel by Burns. Absolutely got full contact of that. Almost looked like upper thigh. Maybe it rolled up a little bit, hit the shin, upper thigh.
And she's not even limping right after it hit her, so definitely wasn't dead middle shin. I've had that one. And
you get dead like real quick.
You limp after that one.
I feel like your leg just broke off.
Michaela Garcia will come in as a pinch runner as Kansas still checks on Diggs.
And to Glasgow's point of we hit more than anybody else, whenever you get those reps in postseason, you get that almost instinct as a hitter of you can anticipate, you can guess what's coming. Even if you've never seen this pitcher before, you just have this, no other way to say it, but gut feeling. And with a hitter like Burns, who hits the ball so hard, whenever you have that gut feeling and you buy into it fully, that's the result you get. Just an absolute monster crush off the barrel.
Caitlin Terry takes the first pitch. How is it an advantage if you're Terry to kind of get out of your headspace, out of the circle, totally remove yourself from that aspect and now focus fully on the batter's box versus maybe waiting in the dugout? You're able to kind of mull on that last inning a little bit.
Yeah, as a utility player, it's great to have something to offset, right? You can keep that intensity, you can keep that focus, but just something to offset and stay true to yourself, because sometimes pitching like she's doing today, she is absolutely dealing, but being able to go into the batter's box, you have a completely different mindset, a different approach with how you're going. So it doesn't mess with the pitching, but if anything, it makes you more in tune, more focused, more locked in.
Doesn't really allow you to overthink maybe some mistakes you might have had in the circle, I would assume.
Definitely have to have a short memory whenever you go out on the mound, and then you're in the hole whenever you're starting up that next half inning.
Pitch misses high, pops out of the mid of Boyer, and up to second goes Garcia.
I like Jerry Glasgow's point about peaking in the postseason, and you see him using some pinch runners, and he's going to do that regardless of the score because he needs his pinch runners getting reads of balls in the dirt, reading the pass ball soon enough. If he gives them a hit and run or a steal, making sure their leads are on time, he's going to utilize every opportunity to get everyone the reps they need for them to be ready come Sunday when their name gets called.
3-2 is lined to right center field. A base hit for Caitlin Terry. Garcia rounding third. She comes home. RBI single for Terry. She has a multi-hit game. And Texas Tech leads 9-0 in the bottom of the fourth.
And this is something that the committee is going to be watching here with Texas Tech. There's been some moments in the latter half of conference play where they've had that run rule opportunity. They've been right in range, and then they just kind of settle down. Can they continue? Can they continue to finish off the game and be consistent from the very first pitch all the way until the game is over? And I think also mindset-wise, forget about the committee for a second. As a team, mindset-wise, that's what it takes to win a national championship. You have to be a team that's being able to stay locked in, first pitch through the last.
Just probably about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, Jerry Glasgow, they had their bye weekend in the Big 12. And instead of filling the weekend, Jerry actually filled the week with games down in Texas. They came off playing Utah, played Utah State Monday, flew Monday night to Texas, played UTSA Tuesday, Texas State Wednesday. And talking to him through that swing, he said, you get tired in postseason. We have to learn to play tired. We haven't been tested enough where we are really, really both physically, mentally, and emotionally tired. And I feel like this trip is going to do that. They won against Utah State and UTSA. Texas State ends up beating them 3-0. And he said, I didn't like the way we approached that game. And if it was because we're tired, well, the last game of Oklahoma City, we're probably going to be tired if we make it there.
Allred sends a bouncing ball to Kripe. She leaps and makes at least the stop at shortstop. She is so impressive. Can't get the throw off in time, but you got to give props to that play.
Yeah, I didn't think that she was going to be able to get a glove on that. It almost looked like she was running to cover second, and then last minute, whenever that ball was hit, she was able to stop on a dime and just plant herself across. You can see her starting to run to second already, and then boom, immediately that diving play. But going to that backhand, going deep, and especially with the speed of Terry at first, there's no play to be made.
Here's Taylor Panel, 3-run homer back in her last at-bat in the third inning. Strike on the inner half, and still nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. It's been just singles off the bat of the Red Raiders.
Diggs continuing to use off speed, and so trying to play with Texas Tech's timing just a little bit and mixing those speeds. We talked about it. She does have 3 different speeds she uses.
Rounds it foul. The count evens 2-2.
I think off speed is so important, especially whenever you look at what Texas Tech has been swinging at, has been those pitches that are up in the zone. That one right there, it was inside, but it was slightly elevated. They see that and they go, yes, ma'am, that's exactly what I want, because I can send it far and deep, which they have done several times already today.
It's it on the ground to Kripe at short, fires over to first, and it drops out of the glove of Souls as Terry breaks for the plate. The throw is not in time, and Texas Tech adds on another here in the bottom of the fourth, and that's just looked to be some heads-up base running.
Oh, this a hard ground ball, and Kripe knows Terry's too quick to go to first, or third, plays at first, but this is the second throw this weekend that has tailed away from Anna Souls as she's trying to stretch. Ball gets away, and Caitlin Terry, continuing to be aggressive, goes ahead and scores.
Again, it's also, as a base runner, we talked about the IQ that Terry has. Knowing that you have a left-handed first baseman, there's a bobble. As a first baseman that's a lefty, your body has to completely turn around to be able to make that throw to home, versus a right-handed first baseman. They can just pick it up and throw it over to home.
And it looks like Nyjah Kennedy has a batting helmet on and a bat in her hands, as the Jayhawks will bring in a new pitcher. 10-0 now for Texas Tech. And we will take a break. New pitcher comes in for the Jayhawks here in Oklahoma City. Kaylee Washington, the new pitcher in the circle for the Jayhawks. Sophomore out of Kansas. 23 appearances this year for the Jayhawks.
As an offense, your mindset is always, can we overtake this pitcher that's there in the mound? Can we kind of win the battle, if you will, against that pitcher? And if they have another one, can we do it again? Can we do it again? Can we do it again? That is a mindset of an elite offense. And right now, Texas Tech, they have been able to do that consistently all throughout the game. They're on their 4th pitcher so far.
Well, believe it or not, there's still 3 more Kansas could possibly use. We did see Lila Partridge yesterday. They also have Blakely Barber and Lizzie Ludwig still. I think, too, though, some of the way this game has gone, and you talk about the big deficit, Kansas also being careful showing the arms that they might use in postseason, because anytime they go to a regional, people are going to go to your last games played. So what does that look like? Who is it? And if you keep a couple arms under wrap, they really have to dig into trying to figure out when they last pitched and what their tendencies are at this present moment.
Just misses a little bit low, and Spearman play with a 2-1 count.
Oh, Washington throws mid to upper 60s. I mean, she'll register 65 to 67. But similar to what we've seen, curve and rise balls, a little bit of an off speed.
Spearman lines it down the left field line, a base hit. 1 run comes in, Panel up to second. And the Red Raiders just keep the line moving here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, you talked about a lot of singles, a lot of just like well-struck balls where nobody is on the defense. You look at how they're shifted over. Outfield playing very, very deep. Infield's playing deep, but there's a lot of space in between. And that's the advantage that you get as an offense whenever that kind of power. You have to respect it as a hitter, because the last thing you want with runners on is a ball that goes over your head.
And out is Nyjah Kennedy, the co-pitcher of the year, pinch hitting. 2 on and nobody out in the bottom of the 4th.
Oh, Nyjah Kennedy hit quite a bit last year. Less plate appearances this year.
Takes a strike on the inside part of the plate.
It's difficult whenever you have that kind of lineup, even as good as she is as an athlete, whenever you have hitters who are at the elite level, the best hitters in the game, you have to put them in because they're producing. They are giving your team those runs.
Well, we have talked about the offensive output and as it increased for Tech from last year to this year. I mean, Jerry Glasgow-Winton found 3 All-Americans to come. When that influxes into your roster, something's got to give, right? And for Nyjah Kennedy this year, it's been the amount of at-bats she's gotten. But if I'm in the circle, I personally, if I had been a hitter, could care less if I'm hitting if there's enough people in the lineup that are doing the job.
Well, you look back to Texas Tech in the championship last year, and it was runs. Run production is what really hurt them. So if I'm her, I'm going right on. I'll take it because now I have that run production. 11-0 here in this game. Multiple home runs already. Tech has just been relentless.
Kennedy pops it up foul, right field line, and heading towards the seats. You mentioned earlier about maybe getting some pinch runners, some looks at ground balls, just getting more and more experience. Could that be for Kennedy possibly, if more in the box for the postseason?
I think she has a desire to be able to be that utility player that can pitch, that can hit, that can do all the things. It's fun whenever you're in the mix at all times, right? And that's ultimately like what she wants. So if there's an opportunity when your team is up 11-0, like, yeah, get her that experience, give her that opportunity. Because you never know what may happen in postseason. But as it stands day in and day out, the offensive production that Glasgow has been able to see, and he has tinkered with lineups all throughout the season. You haven't seen too many consistent lineups from Texas Tech. But whenever you have those productions from their offense time and time again, why mess with it?
Kennedy pops it up behind the plate, and Boyer makes the catch. Takes care of the first down, the bottom of the third. Or excuse me, bottom of the fourth. Now back to the top of the lineup with Davis.
It'll be interesting to me to see if this continues and Jazzy Burns comes up again. We're talking about getting everyone opportunities. Jerry Glasgow gonna have to let Vic Valdez get some in the event that postseason comes and she's if she's not catching Terry, and being able to be comfortable in the box. Because while she has been very selfless this year, also could be times where the game will matter based on her at bat.
Spearman at first, Panel at second. 3 runs have come across here in the fourth, 5 in the third, 3 in the first for Texas Tech. Hard hit ball to right center field, heading towards the wall. As Panel scores, rounding third is Spearman. Up to third is Davis. It's a 2-run triple for the Red Raiders.
And you see the way that their base running has just played such a key part. We keep talking about the power of their bats, but with runners on first and second, this is hit not to the deepest part of the gap. It could have gone deeper, but as soon as they see this ball into the gap, these runners are going. They know that they're scoring, and I think that is such a big piece of why these run numbers that we see from Texas Tech are so high, because as much as it's been single, 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 maybe double here, and of course the home runs, whenever you get those balls that the runners are able to go with their speed, it's game over.
That's the first extra base hit that we've seen this inning. Foul ball by Williams.
Oh, and that's one of those, while Maya Davis can leave the park, she typically hits hard ground balls, she hits the gap and has the speed. So that's one of those, as an outfield, you could probably shift to protect against that a little bit more instead of just playing for the home run power. But for Jerry Glasgow, he talks about it. He just wants to see his team continue to stay focused and intentful. And right now, despite the 13-run lead, they are very intentful in their at-bats. And as you just pointed out, Nicole, also in base running.
Another one fouled by Williams.
I've seen a lot of people dodge foul balls. Maya Davis, I think, ducked under that one as it bounced.
Yeah, third base with the hitter like Mia Williams, where that ball flies off, you better keep your eye and your toes on edge.
Now she sends a fair ball down the left field line, past Wallace into the corner. RBI double for Mia Williams.
And you could tell that Kansas was going tight inside, inside, inside. And with the hitter like Williams, you have to be able to make that adjustment. They go inside again. This pitch a little bit lower, but with that adjustment, you have to make sure it's dramatic enough that she's not able to get a barrel up on it, because she's too good of a hitter. If you stay in one location, one side of the plate too long, she's going to be able to get that ball somewhere where she wants it. And she did, smoked it over there down the line.
Now it is Chloe Riaceto pinch hitting for the Red Raiders, and she's the 9th hitter to come to the plate in this inning. Takes the first pitch, low and outside.
Riasetto, normally a left-handed pitcher for Texas Tech, came over from Louisiana with Jerry Glasgow when he made the move. This is her first at bat of the year.
Hits it on the ground, right side, back shot, gloves, throws to first. Moves Mia Williams up to third. Riasetto gets a little bit of an applause from the Texas Tech fans in attendance.
At this point here, whenever you're at 14-0, you're going to see a lot of pinch hitters, and we've been talking about it frequently, but just getting experience, getting exposure. You don't know what the postseason holds, but if you're able to have somebody off the bench that is comfortable, that is relaxed, can only benefit your team.
Here is Jasmine Burns, 2 outs, runner at third. Takes the first pitch outside. Kaylee Washington in the circle, the 4th pitcher used for the Jayhawks. Finds the zone as the count evens 1-1.
Burns her first at bat. She actually started off this inning, had that hard ground ball that ricocheted off of Diggs, the pitcher at the time. And since then, Tech, they really have not looked back. They've scored 6 runs so far this inning.
Six runs, only 2 extra base hits after Tech displayed the long ball quite a few times to start the game. Now just showing and hit singles and just move the base runners, and the quick base runners at that, as you pointed out. Now full count worked against Burns.
I think also to the point that Kat made as well, if you're Kansas embracing this game here, and it sucks to be down, but how do you get out of an inning like this? How do you stop a team? Because it's postseason time. Teams are going to play with abandon. How do you make that adjustment?
Swings and misses for strike 3, and the Jayhawks get out of the inning, but Texas Tech puts up 6 runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They take a 14-0 lead to the top of the 5th here at Devon Park.
The main obstacle has been the same throughout my life, is you're not big enough, you're not fast enough, you're not strong enough. And so just kind of having that chip on my shoulder of like, all right, head first down some ice, that's the way we're gonna go. Working with KRT Athletic Muscle Cream has helped me improve every aspect of my physicality. So being able to have my muscle, my joints, and my tendons healthy, not cramp up, and be ready to achieve the extra reps, because those extra reps are what's gonna make the difference between a medal and a non-medal.
Hell of a good.
Seriously? No hell of a good dip? Whoa, creamy. A double dip. Where's Jill?
Hell of a good.
It's not a party without hell of a good.
Hell of a good.
Hello?
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Top of the 5th inning back in Oklahoma City, Texas Tech, 14-0 lead over Kansas. And Texas Tech, the last couple of seasons, has been very successful in this Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, Texas Tech, since Jerry Glasgow took over offensively, has been able to bring in players that have just absolutely turned the tables for the Red Raiders. You see 47-0 in the last 2 years, 5 straight shutouts, and obviously last year winning their first Big 12 tournament title.
Well, whenever you have a coach that literally will drive thousands of miles with pitching machines in his truck, his van, his bus, I think that offense is going to play a huge role in their game plans.
Linduff fouls the first pitch back for strike one.
Well, Jerry Glasgow will do it all, and if he has to multitask, he will do that too. Coached us in pro ball, and I'm not lying to you when I tell you he pitched or front tossed an entire batting practice while in the other arm, his shoulder was holding a phone to his ear while he was making a recruiting call.
Linduff hit by a pitch here in the top of the 5th. Brings up Ava Wallace. She'll head into the dugout. Bailey Weber pinch running for her. Caitlin Terry today with 7 strikeouts. Has not allowed a run, and she issued a walk. That was back in the 1st. She's only allowed 1 single. That was in the 3rd.
Even that single, if you're a pitcher, you live with it. It was just a bloop that Haley Toney actually almost had a play on at shortstop. Not something hard hit, so a great day for Caitlin Terry, and especially as they're trying to work in that changeup.
You see the presence behind the plate. I mean, we keep talking about her, but Valdez, as a catcher, she has this calming presence with her pitchers, and she frames the ball so well. And I think that plays into it whenever you're going and you're throwing. I trust that I can spin that ball just a little bit more because my catcher is going to bring it back over the plate. They're going to be able to frame that borderline, maybe a ball, pitch so well that the umpire may call that a strike. I feel more comfortable to throw through the zone instead of trying to hit a spot.
It's softly to the second baseman. Williams tries to go to first to double up Linduff, but it's not in time. First down the top of the 5th.
Well, it just also goes to show the pitcher-catcher relationship and how important that is. And I was blessed to throw to the same catcher for 8 to 10 years, both in college and then into pro ball. But you develop that working relationship where sometimes they become part pitching coach, part psychologist, obviously a pitch framer, pitch blocker, throw down, but you just they become part of you. And as pitchers, when you have that comfortability to know that your pitcher or your catcher has your back.
Hit to the right side. Allred fires to third as the cutoff is off the glove of Toney, but first to third goes Linduff. Flanagan has a hit.
And defense so far has been pretty solid. We talked about that fly ball over at shortstop back in the 3rd by Toney, but Mia Williams, you can see where she's set up. This is an off-speed, really good pitch by Terry. But Williams just out of position, playing more up the middle, that ball hitting that 3-4.
But heads-up base running by Weber, knowing that wasn't hit incredibly hard, that she was going to be able to go to third. Coach Jen McFalls and her staff, you know the conversation in there was, let's not go down without a fight, and they are gritty. We've watched them come back yesterday over and over, chip away, lose the lead, get the lead, lose the lead, and end up winning that game. But she wants to see a 5th inning right now that they just continue to put pressure on Texas Tech whatever way they can.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Look at the depth of Texas Tech, their outfielders. Only 2 hits on the day. Both of them pretty shallow. So if I'm them, I'm not playing closer to the warning track. I'm playing pretty straight up, which is a good 20 feet in front of where they're playing right now.
Yeah, if a team hasn't shown that they are barreling up and balls are getting over your head, that's where you flip. Instead of playing no doubles, you take the chance. Don't get beat in the bloop in front, and if they happen to barrel one up.
Especially for Kansas right now, they're just trying to get one run across the board. They're trying to avoid the shutout in a position 60 feet away.
3-2, swing and a miss for strike 3.
Caitlin Terry just continuing to go upstairs. Jerry hit it on the head. She's a flamethrower. She likes to try to blow it by you. There's some movement on that, but you can tell there's just a different presence about her and the way she throws than when you watch a pitcher really try to fine-tune and spin everything.
Limbaugh sends it fouled on the left field line out of the reach.
Oh, and to your point right there, Nicole, if they're playing in a little bit, Spearman has a chance at actually catching that ball.
Yeah, even as deep as she was playing, she almost made it a little competitive. There, it's only a couple feet away.
Caitlin Terry ahead in the count, 0-2, 2 outs, top of the 5th. (14-0) Texas Tech. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's the ball game. 14-0. Texas Tech wins. Caitlin Terry pitches the shutout, and the Red Raiders advance to the Big 12 championship.
Oh, Caitlin Terry got it going for the Red Raiders. A solid first inning with 2 strikeouts. Ends it there with her 9th strikeout, tying her season high. But she got it started, and Texas Tech just never let off the gas pedal.
That's what happens whenever you're firing on all cylinders. This is the best time of the year, and this is the time in your conference tournament that you want to be firing. You're going to have to wait and see who they're going to play later today. Oklahoma State and Arizona State matching up 8 p.m. Eastern time. Should be a good one.
Caitlin Terry matching her season high with 9 strikeouts, and you have the having coach talk about wanting to peak at the right time. Seems like Caitlin Terry might be peaking just in time for the postseason. And it will be Caitlin Terry doing the honors of advancing the team on the bracket, as the Red Raiders will face the winner of Oklahoma State and Arizona State. That game coming up later tonight. The Red Raiders celebrate with their fans and have made the trek to Oklahoma City, but Texas Tech wins 14-0 today over the Kansas Jayhawks. They will play in the Big 12 championship tomorrow, and we will leave you as Oklahoma State or Arizona State coming up later. Winner will face Texas Tech.